Spoke about it earlier on, but this is what it's all about. This is William the Conqueror's original fortress, the White Tower. Now, work started on the White Tower in the year 1078. It took about 20 years to build. It was constructed by a man known as Gundulf of Bec. In those days, he was the Bishop of Rochester. Now, he had the walls built 92 feet high, 15 feet thick at the bottom, 11 feet thick at the top. Now, in those days, this would have been immense. Absolutely immense. Remember, it's there to dominate the skyline, to intimidate the people of London, which is exactly what it did. Now, it's made up of 4 floors. The top floor, that's the one we're interested in. That's where all the royal apartments would have been located. Second floor down, the second line of windows there, that's where knights and their ladies would have lived. It also held a banqueting hall, council chamber, and one of the finest examples of a Norman chapel left in the world to this day. Still in mint condition as it was in the day. Get in there and have a look if you haven't seen it already. Floor down, next one down then, that would have been used by servants, retainers, bodyguards, yeomen, etc. Which leaves one more floor, doesn't it? One more level below ground. The basement is the best floor of all. No windows required here. Walls extra thick. Screams cannot be heard from outside. Yes, it would have been used for stores and provisions, but also doubled up when rarely needed as a dungeon and torture chambers. Still to this day, I've said it already, but the site of the gift shop. How can we do that? However, for those of you that like torture, get inside there and have a look at the prices. Right, okay. The only other building I want to talk about at this stage is the building you see there to the left, okay? The grand building to the left of the parade ground. Now, it's known as the Waterloo Block. It's the youngest building in the complex. It was built in 1845. Now, initially, it was built to house 1,000 troops of the Tower's garrison. It's still where the Tower's garrison live to this day, where our young sentries, the young soldiers you see on duty there, that's where they rest and recuperate between their arduous duties of standing still. It really takes it out of you, so they need to rest. But more importantly, to this day, that's where the crown jewels and royal regalia are located. Get inside there and have a look. Smash it. I'm telling you now, I promise you, they are the real thing. Okay, so get inside there and have a look. Now, there's some cracking gear in there. You're going to see some lovely stuff. Ladies in particular. One particular stone, favourite of mine, is called the Cullinan Diamond, Cullinan 1, also known as the Star of Africa. It is the largest cut diamond anywhere on the face of the planet, at 530.2 carats. It's a beaut. So get in there and have a look. Now, ladies, I confess, I put my hands up, I watch you on a day-to-day basis, I just can't help myself. Now, I know what goes on inside those wonderful heads of yours. I see you looking at those stones, secretly wanting, yearning, desiring them. Now, I know you're not daft, you know you can't have them, well, that's obvious. But I'm going to offer you a bit of advice, ladies. By all means, have a look at that stone, then hold up your left hand. Sometimes, on the second finger in, there'll be a ring on it. Sometimes in the middle of that ring, you might have a stone. Some bigger than others, doesn't matter. It's the thought that counts. None as big as ours, incidentally, but that's a different story. So have a look at that stone. Have a look back at our Cullinan Diamond. Remember, 530.2 carats. Take it in, look at it, and then look back at that small, pathetic, tiny, microscopic, insignificant little shard on your finger. Or maybe look to the right, maybe to the left, at the so-called gentleman that gave you that tiny, pathetic, insignificant, microscopic little shard, and then give him a slap. He deserves it. Look at him. I apologise for what's coming your way. Right, okay, let's get down to a bit of execution. Now, behind me, somewhere in the throbbing mass there's a glass memorial. Now, it marks the spot of the private execution site, where, as the name suggests, executions were carried out in the privacy of the tower, as opposed to that other horrible, sordid, tacky spot up on the hill there, the public execution site that I spoke about earlier on. Now, in truth, only 6 executions took place here within the walls. First of them, 1536, second wife of King Henry VIII, remember her, Queen Anne Boleyn, tried and condemned to death on 20 charges in total they drummed up against her, including adultery, incest, witchcraft, and the most heinous of all, laughing at her husband's clothes. However, at times I do know how he felt. Now, it is truly said that Anne Boleyn was so petrified of dying by the executioner's axe, she's made a genuine request to be beheaded in the French manner, using a two-handed, double-edged sword. Now, that's a skill and art in France. So much so, we've called the swordsman over from Calais. And in those days, about a 7-day ride from Calais to London. But we've waited patiently. Now, it is truly said that on that fateful day, as Queen Anne Boleyn, just over there, has knelt to say her final prayer, the executioner has carefully, quietly taken out his sword, which we know was hidden under some straw very close to the queen. Sword in hand, he's then quietly moved behind her, and as she was distracted with one fatal blow, he has taken Queen Anne Boleyn's head clean from her shoulders. Now, he said he was so professionally quick, his cut so clean, so precise, that as he's raised Anne Boleyn's head in the normal manner for all to see, her lips were still moving in prayer. Just goes to show you, gents, doesn't it? When even in death, you've got to have the last word. There's really no chance for us, is there?